watch People's TV.
Soldiers helping Nigerian forces fight Boko Haram.
We will have to persuade Nigerian legislatures.
This is coming together of people who are confused.
Executive order should comply with the law.
I personally dissociate myself completely. Personally.
From this interview, because you have
There had hardly been any administration.
No religious body in Nigeria validate the claims by the INEC chairman. It is.
Welcome back. Now, French European Affairs Minister Nathalie Loisier on Wednesday said Italian Interior Minister Matteo Salvini was behaving like Pontius Pilate, the Roman official who condemned Jesus Christ to death over his position on migrants. Loisier made the comment on French radio RTL as she discussed the situation regarding the Mediterranean rescue ship Aquarius. French, Portugal, Spain, and Germany agreed on Tuesday to take in migrants from the rescue ship sailing off the coast of Malta after Italy refused to let the vessel dock. Now, a group of migrants rescued from the Mediterranean in July by charity ship Aquarium have a new home in Fundão, a small Portuguese town badly hit by wildfire last year. Fundão, about 260 kilometers north of the capital Lisbon, had close to 30,000 inhabitants in August 2017. Wildfire destroyed thousands of hectares and in and around the town. The group of 19 migrants from Eritrea, Nigeria, Yemen, and Sudan have arrived in the town and would now go through an employment course involving classes in Portuguese. Now, fed up with Macedonia's economic woes, Solomon Bakatic will vote yes in a referendum on Sunday on whether to change the country's name to qualify for European Union membership, as many hope usher in prosperity. Macedonia's bid for EU and NATO membership were blocked by Greece until June, when it struck a deal with Athens on the name of ex-Yugoslavia Republic to end 27-year-long dispute. Greece maintained that Macedonia's name implied territorial claims to its northern province of the same name. Skopje must now formally adopt the name of Republic of North Macedonia, replacing former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, to emerge from decades of stagnation and instability. And the Supreme Court on Wednesday upheld the validity of India's ambitious biometric identity project, Aadhaar, saying it benefited the marginalized and poor, but sharply reined in a government push to make it mandatory for various services. In a ruling with far-reaching consequences, a panel of 5 judges cleared the use of Aadhaar for welfare schemes, saying it empowered the poor and marginalized. A majority of the panel ruled the program and had merit, but struck down a government effort to make it use mandatory in applications for services ranging from bank accounts to mobile telephone connections and school admissions. And that's much we can take on PTV World Desk. Many thanks for watching. I am Daniel Mwaboso.
On Facebook, like our page and share our posts at People's TV NG. On Twitter, follow us at PTV_NG. Follow us on Instagram at PTVNG. Watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel, People's TV. Visit our website, www.ptvng.com. Subscribe now and join the conversation online. People's TV, people's preferred station.
Soldiers helping Nigerian forces fight Boko Haram.
We will have to persuade Nigerian legislatures.
This is coming together of people who are confused.
Executive order should comply with the law.
I personally dissociate myself completely. Personally.
From this interview, because you have said
there had hardly been any administration.
Under the law, no religious body in Nigeria validate the claims by the INEC chairman. It is
Do you know that PTV remains the best place to showcase those lovely goods and services of yours? Yes, with our visibility in 36 states of Nigeria and over 50 countries of the world, we definitely have the talent reach. What are you waiting for? Book your adverts now. Call us with the number displayed on your screen.
Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world with real-time notifications. Just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search PTV Nigeria, download, it's free, it's easy. Now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
I like truth and I they straightforward. My name is Innocent Dibia. They call me Two-Face before, but now they call me Two-Baba. Yeah, we're here in Osun State for the Vote Not Fight campaign. And we're here to just let the youth know that, let them not be used, let them, go out there, get their PVCs, and then, go and vote for the candidate of their choice. you know, and do it peacefully, and you know, so vote, not fight. Election, no be war. All right, let's go there.
My name is Femi Anikula Kukuti. This is just to tell you, beg you, plead with you. Don't let anybody lure you into being violent. It's very important for us to have a peaceful elections. We need to think about the future of this country, of our children. We can be a great nation. And the first step is desist from being violent. Let's have a peaceful elections.
Soldiers helping Nigerian forces fight Boko Haram.
We will have to persuade Nigerian legislators.
This is coming together of people who are confused.
Executive order should comply with the law.
I personally dissociate myself completely. Personally.
From this interview. Because you have
There had hardly been any administration.
No religious body in Nigeria validate the claims by the INEC chairman. It is.
Hello and welcome to yet another interesting episode of Cuisine Africana. I'm your host, Lilian Ogazing. Today on the show, we're going to be preparing something from the western part of Nigeria. So please do stay tuned, sit back while we take you on this interesting kitchen ride after the break. You're welcome back. Now today with me on the show, we have Chef Henry, and he's going to be telling us what he has for us today. Hello, Chef Henry.
Hello, Lilian. Good day.
Good day. You're welcome to Cuisine Africana.
Thank you very much.
So, what are we exploring? You know, I love having this show with you because I must have something interesting. What is my mouth going to enjoy today?
Okay, first off, how are you doing?
I'm hungry. So let's get started. I can't wait.
Nice. Okay, so today we'll be doing a foriro ati iyan. That's a foriro. That's spinach soup with pounded yam.
Now I want to pronounce it. Eforiro.
Eforiro.
Oh, eforiro.
Yes.
Ati iyan. It had better been. Anyway, I trust you.
Okay. Some of the condiments I'll be using include iru. Iru is one local spice made from locust bean.
Okay.
It helps to control cholesterol.
Oh.
It helps in weight loss. It's also good for the eyes.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll be using shaki. I'll be using bomo, meat, fish, panla.
Oh,
fish,
this is Eforio. So, oh yeah, Iru is also, when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. Okay. But let's get to business. For our meal today, we'll be using
as is the tradition of everybody who is engaged in kitchen work, you first of all wash your hands like a surgeon. You don't do like this. Okay, so Gillian.
So what do I? Okay.
Wash your hands.
Should I wash it like a surgeon or just?
No, like a presenter. Okay, so first of all, I will wash my meat.
Okay.
Can I have a bowl?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. So, thank you. I'm going to wash everything together. This is my shaki, this is liver, this is bomo, this is meat, cow meat, beef.
Okay, so I love washing my meat with salt.
Okay.
How is that?
It depends on individuals. I could wash with salt. I could choose to wash with salt or not.
Okay.
It doesn't really affect anything. Okay, just to satisfy your curiosity, let me wash it with salt.
Oh, please do. Here you go.
So I'm going to add some water.
So do we need to add anything? Okay.
Yeah, we're going to put in some pepper.
Oh, we have a very huge bowl of pepper here.
Oh well, Eforio is mainly made from a sauce that has tomatoes, pepper, varieties of peppers though. Okay. Habaneros, you have your Scotch bonnets, different peppers. You blend them together and use them as your salt.
So what's this?
Sauce, rather.
Okay, this is
cube
seasoning and salt.
Yeah, this is some salt to taste.
Okay.
We're going to allow this to simmer a little.
For how many minutes?
For 5 minutes to 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay.
And if we check it and it's still not tender enough, we'll add some water and allow it to cook further.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Can I have a plate over there? Thank you. Okay, I'd like to, this is panla. Now, some Yoruba people call stockfish, what we call okporoko in Igbo. They call it panla, and they also call this panla, but this is like the original panla for Eforio. You can also use stockfish, depending on who is cooking, but a proper Yoruba person doesn't actually use stockfish that much. It's for the Igbo variety, Calabar, and all that. So this is panla. We're going to put it later into the meal. Help me chop it. And finally, let me just show our iru.
Okay.
This is iru. It's been properly washed. It looks like beans that has been divided, right?
Yeah, I feel like granules.
Yeah, actually. And it has, a lot of people think it has an offensive smell, but that's because of what it is made from. It has to go through some processes that.
So this is also dawa dawa, right?
Yes. The Hausa variety of Nigeria have a particular way of making their own. What differentiates this is that the dawa from the Hausa variety or Igala variety is black. They make it and cake it into a particular way. It's in a cake form.
In a cake form.
Yes, it's in a cake form. The Igbo variety have theirs they call ugiri or upaka, depending on what part of the Igbo.
So did you do anything special to it? Because this one doesn't smell funny. I know then if people are actually using iru or dawa dawa to cook, the smell is offensive. So this is actually my first time of eating it or seeing one that is like this. And it's not really offensive. The smell is okay.
I actually just I washed it thoroughly. I washed with salt.
Okay.
I washed with salt and wash it thoroughly. Some people do not. I used to not like washing it. Just rinse it, and then because of that whitening is very strong. I used to like that very strong. But as you age, as you grow, your taste changes.
Okay, so this is dawa dawa.
So the next time you want to control your cholesterol, the next time you want to have good vision, the next time you want to control your blood pressure, eat you.
Okay, all right. I can see our meat is boiling.
Okay, can I just quickly wash my hands?
Oh, sure.
Okay, I remember on the last show, I taught you how to stare like a chef. So I'm going to give you the benefit of doubt to show me how to stare like.
Well, I learned.
Okay.
Actually, did
I'm
learn.
going to see that now.
Yeah, he said I have to hold the pot. I'm a woman.
What's the reason for holding the pot?
So it won't fall off.
Okay, nice.
I'm a woman, so I know how to
hail
cook.
Queen Lillian. Well done. Well done. Thank you very much.
Alrighty.
We'll still just allow this.
Yeah, while this is simmering, we're going to go on a really short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
For innovative research-based analysis, fresh news and programs, join us on PTV, the People's Oriented Station, transmitting on Star Times Channel 120, showing across 36 states in Nigeria, and Channel 77 on Strong Decoder across 52 countries. Yes, you asked for it. Now you have the best of television. You can also follow us on our social media platforms showing on your screen. People's Television, powered by you.
Welcome to Style TV. I'm your host, Alero Go.
You're welcome back. So, I guess our meat should be ready by now.
Yes.
Is it tender? So, what's the next step for our efo riro?
Okay, we're going to fry now. Fry pepper, everything. We are basically going to mix our condiments together.
Okay, sir.
Please could you help me with the pots?
Alrighty.
And yes, we are cooking for a community. I can hear someone saying, this pot is so big. Yeah, we're cooking for a community.
No, I think the reason being that, you know, we're using spinach, right?
Yes.
And it's really affordable, especially if you're buying in. It's really, really affordable. It's
you can get like almost 10 bunches for 200 naira.
Are you serious?
Yes, you can cook efori. Efori is very affordable. When it seems like it's expensive is when you decide to use varieties of protein, different types of fish, different types of meat, snail. You know, your food can be as rich as you want or as normal as you want.
All right.
It's basically affordable.
So what do we do next?
So I'm going to turn in my oil.
Okay.
And Eforiro loves oil. We're going to allow this heat up a little.
Okay, so chef, one quick question. This is our leaf.
Yeah.
How did we get it to this level?
Okay, some people are going to very quickly say it's not healthy and all that, but I remember that we are trying to portray African dishes in their originality. Now, the African man wilts his spinach, or the Nigerian man wilts his spinach for Eforiro, Yoruba people especially. They wilt with hot water. You just soak it in hot water, and it gets to this point where it's wilt and very soft. Some people cook with potash, but I don't fancy it. I would rather just use hot water. So this is the original way that you wilt your spinach with hot water and just allow it rest for a few minutes and then wash it out.
Okay,
Yes.
so this is how you get it. No, normally I eat fried spinach. I just fry. I don't know, maybe it's also Eforiro because I just get my oil to this level and then fry it and eat it with yam. But then I slice it first.
Oh well, different strokes for different folks. This was sliced, but I like my Eforiro to be chunks, like big chunks, to be big, not really small like we are cooking vegetable soup.
Right.
So I think it's okay. Like I like to see the stalk. It's soft enough, so when it goes into the fire,
it becomes really tender.
Really tender and edible.
Alright, okay. So what do we need?
Pepper.
This is really a huge quantity of pepper.
Okay, for those in doubt, this consists of tomatoes, just a little tomatoes, Scotch bonnet, what you call your atarodo, your tatase, and your shombo. All those peppers, you know, shombo, the Scotch bonnet is not really hot, so we'll use more of it for this.
Okay. You added onions, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I added, while blending, I added onions to it.
Okay.
Yeah. This goes in and fries together with
the pepper and
tomatoes and pepper and everything.
Okay, so we'll wait for this to simmer?
Yes, we'll allow this to fry a little.
Oh, fry actually.
Oh well, yeah. We'll allow it fry a little, then not a little, we'll allow it fry properly.
Okay.
Fry properly. Okay, this is going to be like your edikaikong, where when after seasoning your meat and cooking your meat to be tender, you allow the water dry up a little. In this case, we won't add water.
Okay.
Not now at least. We'll allow it fry dry before we put in our fish, put in other things, put in the meat, and allow it boil really well before we add a little water. So the beauty is in the richness, the thickness of the stock.
Okay. Well, you know,
sauce, rather.
It looks nice. We learn every day. Okay, so while we're waiting for this to fry, dry, and simmer, we're going to go on another break. When we return, we'll get back to our Eforiro.
For innovative research-based analysis, fresh news and programs, join us on PTV, the People's Oriented Station, transmitting on Star Times Channel 120, showing across 36 states in Nigeria, and Channel 77 on Strong Decoder across 52 countries. Yes, you asked for it. Now you have the best of television. You can also follow us on our social media platforms showing on your screen. People's Television, powered by you.
Can you keep up? I mean, with all the latest happenings in the world of entertainment? Not to worry. Let's keep you in the know with all the OMG moments in entertainment. The feud between Nigerian act Orishefemi and his former manager, which has gone on for over a year now, may have very well hit its climax. For all the hottest and juiciest entertainment stories, let's get you updated on all the latest gist in the world of entertainment. Tune in to eBuzz with your girl, Alero Go.
You're welcome back. So our sauce with Iru, tomatoes and tatashe and all of that is actually really cooking, and I must confess it smells nice. So after this, what's the next step?
I'm going to put in the fish, put in some cubed seasoning, some salt, and put in the fish.
All right, let's get to cooking.
So let me stir.
Ah, it looks nice.
Ah, thank you.
Test it.
Yes, please.
State your professional.
As usual, I am excited today. Like, AY has done a whole lot for people. I'm not just his baby mama, I am his manager. And we all know that Wizkid had he had numbers of baby mamas. And
he said you don't need some leaders of the National Assembly. The worst form of democracy is said to be better than the best form of military regime.
We are trying to build political blocks.
Just days after he defected from your party, I believe the politics taken too far.
Members of the new board of Police Service Commission.
You know, that's also the fact that his seat should be declared vacant because we have some states that have experienced, you know, some level of insecurity.
The headship or the leadership of the Senate or the House of Representatives.
But I have gone beyond that now, beyond partisanship.
I don't think a lot of you know the crisis in the embassy.
We know that the people of the country are getting more information about what is happening to us.
With what you know about the person, you will go ask yourself.
But one of the things I've come to observe is that
I'm the Agberu. That made me like this Agberu.
He don't need PVC. He don't need PVC. I was trying to convince him.
News emerged that Jones Abiri, a Bielsa-based journalist, is out on bail.
And there's nothing, of course, that makes them to have this guy.
As a citizen, first of all, every citizen has the right. What is happening in society, what is happening everywhere around him.
From that day, Saraki knew that he was a madman in the APC.
He should ask these people who leaked the information. That is his business.
This is not the first time JSS was taking over the National Assembly.
It may be extremely very difficult to remove a Senate president.
But the question is the viability of most of these 91 political parties.
Of course, you can't prosecute that investigation.
It will be easier for you to have those people with the like minds to join you.
My name is Femi Anikulapo Kuti. This is just to tell you, beg you, plead with you. Don't let anybody lure you into being violent. It's very important for us to have a peaceful elections. We need to think about the future of this country, of our children. We can be a great nation. And the first step is desist from being violent. Let's have a peaceful elections.
Elections should not be a do or die affair. There's no basis for violence in an election.
If any politician asks them to go and do violence because they want to pay them, let them ask them, any politician, to go and bring his son or daughter to lead the violence.
I want to employ the young people in the forthcoming election not to fight They should be orderly. At the same time, they must be vigilant.
I support the campaign of vote and not fight. Let us vote peacefully and shun any form of conflict.
People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world. For real-time notifications, just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search for PTV Nigeria. Download. It's free. It's easy. And now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
News 24 Extra is taking it up a notch. You can now have news curated to your interest anywhere in the world with real-time notifications. Just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store on iOS. Search News 24 Extra. Download. It's free. It's easy. Now you can catch up with the latest news in politics, entertainment, lifestyle, sports, and much more. So stay connected with News 24 Extra. News at your fingertips.
Yeah, I like truth and I dey straightforward. My name is Innocent Idibia. They call me Two-Face before, but now they call me Two Baba. Yeah, we're here in Osun State for the Vote Not Fight campaign. And we're here to just let the youth know that, let them not be used, let them, go out there, get their PVCs, and then, go and vote for the candidate of their choice, and do it peacefully and, so vote, not fight, election, not be war. All right, let's go there, man.
On Facebook, like our page and share our posts at People's TV NG. On Twitter, follow us at PTV_NG. Follow us on Instagram at PTVNG. Watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel, People's TV. Visit our website, www.ptvng.com. Subscribe now and join the conversation online. People's TV, People's Preferred Station.
Did you know that PTV remains the best place to showcase those lovely goods and services of yours? Yes, with our visibility in 36 states of Nigeria and over 50 countries of the world, we definitely have the talent reach. What are you waiting for? Book your adverts now. Call us with the number displayed on your screen.
You're watching People's Television, your people's preferred station, powered by you.
For innovative research-based analysis, fresh news and programs, join us on PTV, the People's Oriented Station, transmitting on Star Times Channel 120, showing across 36 states in Nigeria, and Channel 77 on Strong Decoder across 52 countries. Yes, you asked for it. Now you have the best of television. You can also follow us on our social media platforms showing on your screen. People's Television, powered by you.
Soldiers helping Nigerian forces fight Boko Haram.
We will have to persuade Nigerian legislatures.
This is coming together of people who are confused.
Executive order should comply with the law.
I personally dissociate myself completely. Personally.
From this interview, because you have said
there had hardly been any administration.
No religious body in Nigeria validate the claims by the INEC chairman. It is.
Hello and welcome to PTV Today. My name is Paulum David. The Nigerian Labour Congress is insisting on going ahead with its planned strike. This is coming after a closed-door meeting with federal government ended in a deadlock. The meeting was sequel to the declaration by the union to commence an indefinite strike starting from Wednesday midnight. NLC President had on Wednesday directed all labour unions and civil society groups to embark on an indefinite nationwide strike after the expiration of a 14-day ultimatum issued on September 12th. According to the NLC, the decision to embark on the next nationwide strike action followed the refusal of the federal government to reconvene the tripartite committee on a new national minimum wage. NLC is demanding an upward review of the current 18,000 minimum wage to 56,000. Now, still on minimum wage, the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria has directed its members across the country to shut down all courts and judicial activities from Thursday. This, it says, is in compliance with the nationwide strike declared by the organized labor over a new minimum wage demand. JOSHN President Marwan Adamu gave the directive on Wednesday morning. Adamu said effective from midnight of Wednesday, all courts in the country must remain closed, pending a counter-instruction from the National Secretariat of the Union. And now over at Osun State and Osogbo High Court has ordered the police to release the People's Democratic Party chieftain Fatai Dekola and 2 others from detention. The order was given by Justice A.O. Ayola on Wednesday following an application filed on behalf of the detainees. They were arrested for allegedly attempting to buy permanent voters' cards ahead of the Osun rerun elections. And away from that, Nigerian women will now have the opportunity to participate in the electoral process across the country. This was after hundreds of women and other gender stakeholders converged in Abuja for a workshop on INEC's roles in enhancing women's participation in the electoral process. INEC's chairman Mahmood Yakubu said the gender policy launched in 2014 allows female participation in the electoral process. More details will be brought to you in a subsequent bulletin. The National Peace Committee, led by former head of state Abdulsalami Abubakar, is back in the news ahead of the 2019 elections. The committee played a key role ahead of the 2015 and is set to play a similar role next year. Retired General Abubakar said one of the key mandates of the team is to ensure peace before, during and after the 2019 election. Emmanuel Bagudu has more.
Ahead of the 2019 polls, the National Peace Committee is again fully back on duty.
After speaking to the chairman, please no more interviews.
The last time this committee was heard of was in the 2015 elections. And having played a vital role in the peaceful conduct of the 2015 polls, the committee is back again ahead of the 2019 elections. The committee's chairman, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, explains why.
As you are all aware, we are approaching 2019 elections, and already you are very much aware all the policy is being heated. As a result of which we have decided to step our action in ensuring that there is active, that the politicians play by the rule of the game, and also the security agencies and the INEC in their role accordingly. This morning we have interacted with the INEC chairman and his staff, and also we have security agencies here who have got one role or the other in performance of this election. So all in all, we have had a briefing, and then later this afternoon we are going to meet the political parties. The chairman in has told us there are 91 registered political parties. In furtherance of ensuring that the peace continue, we are going to listen to them and hear their complaints and also appeal to them to make sure that this politics is placed without weakness.
After meeting with the press and the leadership of INEC, the committee headed to the NUC for yet another meeting with the political parties.
We need peace to have democracy, and you also need democracy to have peace. They are Siamese twins, but the electoral process by which people emerge as primaries, through elections must be seen to be free, fair and credible. And that's where both the INEC, the electorate and the whole community comes into play.
As it is right now, they have a lot of work to do. Their work is not just a work that will be limited to only political parties, but also they have to see what they can do to organize town hall meetings with the real Nigerians.
The general consensus among political watchers is that the controversial Osun election was what triggers the reconvening of the committee. But it is, however, not clear if the committee will intervene in Osun. Emmanuel Bagudu, PTV News, Abuja.
And now over to Kaduna State, where some aspirants seeking elective positions on the platform of the All Progressive Congress have rejected indirect primaries. They described it as a sham process that can easily be manipulated. The aspirants are worried that the party is not learning from its experience in Osun State. And now moving on, the Benue State chapter of the ruling All Progressive Congress has been holding a series of meetings ahead of the party's congresses in Makurdi. It's time for a short break. More reports after this break. To stay.
helping Nigerian voters fight Boko Haram.
We will have to persuade Nigerian legislatures.
This is coming together of people who are confused.
Executive order should comply with the law.
I personally dissociate myself completely. Personally.
From this interview, because you have
said there had hardly been any administration.
No religious body in Nigeria validate the claims by the INEC chairman. It is.
Soldiers helping Nigerian voters fight Boko Haram.
We will have to persuade Nigerian legislatures.
This is coming together of people who are confused.
Executive order should comply with the law.
I personally dissociate myself completely. Personally.
From this interview, because you have
said there had hardly been any administration.
No religious body in Nigeria validate the claims by the INEC chairman. It is.
Usual, I am excited today. Like, AY has done a whole lot for people. I'm not just his baby mama, I am his manager. And we all know that Wizkid had he had numbers of baby mamas. And
he said you don't need some leaders of the National Assembly. The worst form of democracy is said to be better than the best form of military regime.
We are trying to build political blocks.
Just days after he defected from your party, I believe the politics taken too far.
Members of the new board of Police Service Commission.
You know, that's also the fact that his seat should be declared vacant because we have some states that have experienced, some level of insecurity.
The headship or the leadership of the Senate or the House of Representatives.
But I have gone beyond that now, beyond partisanship.
I don't think a lot of you know the crisis in the APC.
We know that the people of the country are getting more information about what is happening to us.
With what you know about the person, you can ask yourself.
But one of the things I've come to observe is that
You're welcome back. And now over to Benue State, where the Benue State chapter of the ruling APC has been holding a series of meetings ahead of the party's congresses in Makurdi. And this time, one of the agenda of the party is to make stakeholders acquaint themselves with the party's guidelines. Details of this will be brought to you in a subsequent bulletin. Civil servants and pensioners in Benue State are not happy that the federal government has withdrawn the final tranche of Paris Club $14.9 billion sent to the states. They expressed their thought just as Governor Samuel Otom said the federal authorities have no right to do so. Details of this also brought to you in a subsequent bulletin. A federal high court sitting in Lagos has adjourned the trial of former acting DG of NIMASA, Callistus Obi, charged with 136 million naira fraud until September 27th. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, preferred an 8-count charge against Obi, who was a former executive director and later former acting DG of NIMASA. Obi was charged alongside one Alu Dimas, who was an aide to former Director General of NIMASA, Patrick Akpobolokemi. Wife of Nigerian President Aisha Buhari says she has never sent any of her staff to collect any favors on her behalf. She said this in reaction to allegations that she used her aide-de-camp, CSP Sani Babaina, to collect 2.5 billion naira from high-profile Nigerians. Aisha Buhari, however, confirmed that Babaina is under police investigation, but expressed surprise in a statement issued on her behalf that he allegedly used her name for suspicious activities. She added that the police arrested her ADC in order to investigate the allegations leveled against him. Aisha also urged anyone who might have given money to Babaina to get across to him and retrieve whatever he took from him. She said she will not condone fraudulent behavior by any of her staff. And now over to Benue flood, where the waters released by Cameroonian authorities from Lagdo Dam have not flooded the Benue environs yet, but strange animals have started appearing. 2 strange animals were caught in River Benue some few days ago, to the surprise of many. Now, these details will be brought to you in a subsequent bulletin. Now, over to Anambra State flood, where a 9-year-old girl is the latest casualty of flooding after she was killed while fetching water in Agbaru local government area of Anambra State. The minor, according to her father, Izuchukwu Uzo, was swept away by flood water as she attempted to fetch water. The elder sister of the victim was said to have almost lost her life as she made attempts to rescue her little sister during the incident. Chairman of Agbaru Local Council, Arinze Awogu, who confirmed the incident, said the death of the 9-year-old girl brings the number of lives in the latest flooding incidents. And away from that, over to the foreign scene now. China is sincere about improving ties with the Vatican, the foreign ministry said on Wednesday, after the Vatican signed a landmark agreement giving it a say in appointments of bishops in China. New bills proposed by members of local Catholic communities together with Chinese authorities, and the name of candidates sent to Vatican critics labeled the deal a sellout to communist-speaking governments. Speaking at daily news briefing in Beijing, Foreign Ministry spokesman Geng Shuang said China was sincere about wanting better relations with the Vatican, and the bishops' agreement was an important step in improving ties. And now over to Portugal, where a group of migrants rescued from the Mediterranean in July by charity ship Aquarians have a new home in Fadel, a small Portuguese town badly hit by wildfires last year. Fadel, about 260 kilometers north of capital Lisbon, had close to 30,000 inhabitants in August 2017. A wildfire destroyed thousands of hectares in and around the town. A group of 19 migrants from Eritrea, Nigeria, Yemen and Sudan had arrived in the town and will now go through an employment course involving classes in Portuguese. And now in Morocco, Moroccan Navy has opened fire on a motorboat carrying migrants in Moroccan waters, killing a 22-year-old Moroccan woman and injuring 3 other people. One of them has had his arm amputated and is in the hospital in Rabat. The Moroccan authorities said the Spanish skipper of the migrant boat refused to stop, adding that its passengers were lying flat and could not be seen from the naval vessel. The International Organization for Migrants said more than 30,000 migrants have reached Spain by land or sea this year, twice as many as last year. And now over to Congo, where health workers involved in tackling Ebola in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, city of Beni, are resuming their outreach operations following a 2-day suspension because of an attack by rebels. The attack, suspected to have been carried out by a Ugandan group the Allied Democratic Forces ADF killed at least 18 people, including 14 civilians. The local authorities agreed to allow the health workers restart following warning by the WHO. The WHO said efforts to control Ebola had to resume because it was spreading to border areas and Uganda was facing an imminent threat. The health workers will now be able to continue with vaccinations and the tracing of people who have contact with suspected Ebola patients. Damilia named Research Chief Ola Kelmius as his next CEO on Wednesday in a succession plan that promotes a raft of tech-savvy managers as its Mercedes-Benz car brand and also seeks to install long-serving CEO Dieter Zacharias as chairman. The German automaker said the plan will provide certainty on future leadership at a time of upheaval in the car industry, though some commentators question an arrangement they could leave Zacharias at the backseat driver. Damilia said the 49-year-old Janellos would become chief executive in 2019 and the 65-year-old Zacharias would, if shareholders approve, become chairman of the supervisory board in 2021, following a standard 2-year cooling-off period. And now over to the UK, where Britain's opposition Labour Party is wooing business bosses even as it unveils a raft of radical economic policies, determined to tell a sometimes forced response to its plans to give more power to the workers. Engage with Labour, work with us, was the message from Labour's envoy for financial services to businessmen and women at a business drinks reception at the party's annual conference, with Brexit negotiations at its impasse and Prime Minister Theresa May's future uncertain. Labour in business at times uneasy be the fellows since veteran leftist Jeremy Corbyn was elected leader in 2015 are taking more notice of each other. And now in sports, Nigeria and Senegal have made history at the Women's Basketball World Cup on the Spanish island of the Tenerife by becoming the first African nations to reach the second stage of the tournament. Nigeria beat Argentina 75-70 to record their second win in the finals. The victory means that they finished second in the group and progressed to playoffs where they will face Greece. The winners of that match will go on to play the US in the quarterfinals. Senegal lost 76-66 to China, but that was good enough for them to finish third in their round. And they also advanced to face Spain. The winners of that qualifier will play Canada in the quarterfinals. And that's all on PTV today. These are many thanks for watching. My name is Pollum David. Do stay on PTV.
Usual, I am excited today. Like, AY has done a whole lot for people. I'm not just his baby mama, I am his manager. And we all know that Wizkid had a number, he had numbers of baby mamas. And
he said you don't need some leaders of the National Assembly. The worst form of democracy is said to be better than the best form of military regime.
We are trying to build political blocks.
Just days after he defected from your party, I believe is the politics taken too far.
Members of the new board of Police Service Commission.
You know, that's also the fact that his seat should be declared vacant because we have some states that have experienced, you know, some level of insecurity.
The headship or the leadership of the Senate or the House of Representatives.
But I have gone beyond that now, beyond partisanship.
I don't think a lot of you know crisis in the embassy.
We know that the people of the country are getting more information about what is happening to us.
With what you know about the person, you will go ask yourself.
But one of the things I've come to observe is that
I be Agberu. That made me like this Agberu.
He don't need PVC.
Eh?
He don't need PVC.
Jesus.
I was trying to convince him.
News emerged that Jones Abiri, a Bielsa-based journalist, is out on bail.
And there's nothing, of course, that makes them to have this guy.
As a citizen, first of all, every citizen has the right. What is happening in society, what is happening everywhere around him.
From that day, Saraki knew that he was a madman in the APC.
He should ask his people who leaked the information. That is his business.
This is not the first time JSS was taking over the National Assembly.
It may be extremely very difficult to remove a Senate president.
But the question is the viability of most of these 91 political parties.
Of course, you can't prosecute that investigation.
It will be easier for you to have those people with the like minds to join you.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tracy O'Connor, and I'm from Roswell Park Cancer Institute in Buffalo, New York. Breast cancer is essentially a disorder of cell growth that can happen in either the ducts or the lobules of the breast. Essentially, cells in the breast begin to grow in an uncontrolled fashion, ultimately gaining the ability to spread throughout the body. It's important that women notice any changes in their breast because these cancers can be very readily treatable if they're picked up early. The major symptom of breast cancer is generally a painless lump in the breast, although some women do have pain when they notice a lump. There can also be changes in the skin, either puckering or dimpling, redness of the skin, and sometimes a nipple discharge. In this environment, often women will have deformity of the breast as the cancer progresses. Unfortunately, breast cancers can spread to other sites like the bone, liver, lung, and cause symptoms including pain. When a cancer spreads to other sites, when it's a very late stage cancer, what we call a stage 4 cancer, it's no longer able to be cured, although it can still be treated or tried to be managed. So it's just really important that women are diagnosed early with the first notice of a change in the breast, that they report that to their physician, because at that stage they are highly curable. All cancers are diseases of aging. So as we as human beings get better at managing other diseases that used to cause our mortality, our cancer incidence is increasing. In the US, it's been increasing pretty rapidly as human beings age. As we get older, we accumulate many more exposures to things that ultimately can cause cell changes and cause cancers to occur. The major cause of breast cancer, the major risk factor for breast cancer is aging. But there are other things that are important. A family history can increase a woman's risk of breast cancer. If she's overweight after menopause, that can increase her risk of breast cancer. Many of the changes that happen as women advance in society are associated with an increased breast cancer as we adopt a more Western style of life. Things like having fewer children, being younger at the time you get your first period, being older at the time that you go through menopause. So putting all of these together, a woman can help with her physician determine what her risk is. Ideally, women will begin having mammograms between the age of 40 and 45, and we generally recommend that they do this once a year. But another really good screening test, if mammography is not available or is not able to be afforded, is for a woman to check her breasts once a month and to report any changes promptly to her physician. In the United States, even in a high screening environment, 40% of breast cancers are diagnosed by women noticing a lump in their own breast. It is not contagious. So breast cancer cannot be transmitted from one person to another. Some cancers do have the ability to be started by a virus. We've been talking a lot on this trip about the human papillomavirus, or HPV. This is a virus that's associated with both head and neck cancer and cervical cancer. And the reason we've been talking about it is that it is preventable with a vaccine if individuals are vaccinated before they become sexually active. So that's a very important public health measure that could be advocated for in this country. So if we catch it early, women are cured and they can live out a normal lifespan. So in the United States, 90% approximately of women who present with a breast cancer can go on to live a normal lifespan. So that's why it's so important to catch it early. I usually would recommend that people start with their primary care physician. Until a woman is actually diagnosed with the cancer, she does not need to see an oncologist. So following up with her primary care physician or obstetrician gynecologist would probably be a good option. So it feels to me from talking to women in Nigeria, there's a great deal of fear and stigma surrounding a cancer diagnosis. And I would encourage women to take control of the situation, to recognize that breast cancer is highly curable if it's caught early and treated by the right professionals, to check their breasts regularly and really to pursue cancer screening with mammograms once a year so that they can be diagnosed early, be treated, and go on to live a long and fruitful life. I think that the knowledge in Nigeria is actually very good. There's a lot of breast cancer here, and physicians certainly know how to treat it. The major barriers are the fact that many women have difficulty affording care. Sometimes care is unavailable, such as radiotherapy or access to chemotherapy agents. And there's a great deal of delayed presentation. So rather than presenting with a very early, very curable breast cancer in Nigeria, many women delay seeking treatment, either because they can't afford it or they're frightened. And when you delay treatment, that's when your outcome is not as good. So it's not as if the physicians here lack any skills or knowledge. It's that the system is working against them while they're trying to take care of their patients. It seems like the general level of knowledge and awareness is quite low in Nigeria among the population. So I think education is really key to get the word out that there is screening available for cancer, that it is not a death sentence, that with proper treatment and early diagnosis, this is a curable problem for people. And to support cancer patients rather than stigmatize the disease. People who are diagnosed with cancer need compassion and support to get through their treatment. This is not a contagious problem, and these patients deserve our care and support. I try to be very encouraging with my patients. We often talk about ourselves in oncology as being big cheerleaders. We're really there to support them, help them get through treatment, work with them psychologically, to get the right mindset to get through therapy. But in general, the patients that I care for with cancer are a lovely group of women who deserve the very best care. And the women in this country deserve the same level of care that we're able to give in the States. I would like to see better infrastructure and better support, some sort of public insurance program for the people of Nigeria, especially in regards to cancer care. My name is Dr. Tracy O'Connor. I'm a breast cancer doctor from Roswell Park Cancer Institute in Buffalo, New York, and I'm here to encourage you to get your health information from People's Television.
Nigeria is a great country blessed with abundant natural and human resources. These resources, if properly harnessed, should make the country's economy stronger than it is today. Corruption is one of the major reasons why the country is still witnessing setbacks in many areas of its economic sphere. Let's join hands to say no to corruption for a greater Nigeria. Hello and welcome to the program, The Eagle, a weekly program showcasing the activities of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and produced by the Public Affairs Department of the Commission. I am Aisha Muhammad.
Corruption is a cankerworm, na cankerworm. I say na cankerworm, na cankerworm. Corruption don't finish our country. Nigeria women rise up and come together, oh yeah.
Every woman come out. But we fight corruption together, oh. Every woman fall out. But we kill corruption together, oh.
Them they thief our money. Send them obodo yibo. Children they suffer every day. Better school in no day. Nigeria women come, oh. Women from every sector. Make we fight corruption. We won't kill our country. Them go collect money for light. Chop the money, light we no see. Good road and good health and call. We no see. I said na cankerworm, oh.
Join the EFCC in its crusade to rid Nigeria of corruption. Naija, now we all know.
We begin the program with a special report on value reorientation as a viable tool in checking the menace of corruption. Positive moral values, they say, are important in our day-to-day activities. Apart from giving meaning and purpose to our lives, having good moral means you are able to channel your behavior towards a beneficial and fulfilling conduct everywhere you find yourself. Despite measures put in place to check the menace of corruption, the increasing rate of corruption incidences in our society is becoming very frightening as the perpetrators have become unrepentant. Can value reorientation play a role in checking the menace? Does the family have a role to play in the fight against corruption? In this next report, we take a look at value reorientation as a tool in fighting corruption. Please stay tuned.
According to an online article by essaylibrary.com, incorporating the moral value of honesty in your life makes you trustworthy. You will have a clear conscience because you can respect yourself. The people that you come into contact with will all be able to count on you to be fair and sincere. Your integrity will allow you to advance in both your personal and professional life. There are more opportunities for you to fully experience life when you are an honest person. The issue of integrity brings us to the menace of corruption. A lot of Nigerians are no longer concerned about their integrity, which is evident in the way and manner public fund is being looted for private gains. Corruption, as many will say, is endemic in Nigeria. Everywhere we go, the menace stares us in the face. Poverty is also as a result of corruption because funds meant for developmental purposes are being diverted for private gains. The federal government had since recognized those many problems and so established various agencies to combat corruption, some of which are the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and the Code of Conduct Bureau, amongst others, with each having its separate laws. Apart from the laws enacted to fight corruption, can value reorientation be a tool in checking the spread of corruption? The Eagle team were again on the streets of Abuja to sample people's opinion on this. Some of the respondents have this to say.
The parents should teach their children the right thing. First of all, when they send their children to school, they should let them know that they should study and pass their exams by themselves. That whatever they do, they have to earn it on merit. Because I believe some parents are the ones that allow their children to go into all these corrupt practices, malpractices. They even pay the teachers, buy question papers to allow these children to move further, to move to the next level. And these children, they are assimilating all these things and they know that their parents are doing this for them and they can continue with it because what your parents are doing and you're doing it, nobody will caution you about it.
What I see in these things is all about the family, parents. It's the way you brought up your children that they will also move elsewhere, outside. We parents, we need to impact some things in our children. You need to teach them before any other thing. You're supposed to be the teacher, the real teacher. You have to teach your children what to do and you have to educate them to know the bad and the good thing in our country.
I am suggesting that we will start from home because home is the beginning of the whole thing. If you have a good family value, you will not be involved in the violence. You will not be involved in stealing. But because we have lost our family value, that is why Nigeria is going the way they are going. Just take for instance, in UNN, there is a child who the friends asked him to join an association. They call it one name, but the child came home and told the father, say, my friend asked me to join one association called the court. But the father, because the child was so close to the father, that was why he's able to disclose to the father. I am now advocating that parents should be close to their children and have time for them. The beginning of the whole destruction in this country started from home because a lot of parents are not at home. They don't know who associate with their children. They don't know how they go out and how they come in. They don't even know how they eat because they are looking for material things.
They need an orientation from the family, reorientation, and to educate them values, spiritual values, not ordinary moral values alone, spiritual values. And when they know what it takes for a man and a woman to stay as one, centered on God, then their lifestyle will change. They will now think of God first. And when they are thinking of God, they will not be corrupted in their heart.
Another thing for this corruption of a thing, if you teach your children how to struggle, how to just don't relent, don't look what other people are doing that is bad, just focus attention on what you are doing. Teaching children how to struggle, maybe after education they will learn, they will do other things to at least to keep life going. The children will not look back. They will know that maybe after secondary school education, either you learn trade or you learn how to sew machine or carpentry work or other things. Be contented with what they have. Children will follow suit. But a situation where you parents are not doing anything, tomorrow you bring this one, children will ask questions. Daddy or mommy, where? You say, don't worry. You have to tell your children where you are getting all those things. It's from my shop. It's from this my workshop. It's from this way. Or from a mechanic that we get this one. Children will know that they will have to struggle, fight, learn things, so that tomorrow they will be okay.
I think we are the role model to our children. It starts from the mother. Understand? You as a mother, you have to present yourself in a way that the child will not regret it in life. You understand? You inculcate things in the child that are positive. You don't fight in your child's presence. You understand? There are some things you don't say, like making call. You begin to lie, and your child is there watching. Before you know it, he sees it as a normal thing.
The young people are often referred to as the future of the world. The future of our country depends upon the moral values impacted on them when they are young. So children have an immense power of observation, and their feelings are deep-rooted. They always observe their parents at home and their teachers in school. For this reason, some respondents called on parents to be good examples to their words.
I think it should be a kind of general sensitization from the family. It should be taught to the children, and then immediately they get to school, because it starts even at the nursery level. You leave your own food, you go to take another person's food. That is corrupt practice. So at that level, it shouldn't be taught as a course, but as a kind of instilling values in children. And then for the general society, there should be massive awareness campaign about it, because some people that are indulged in corruption and corrupt practices may not even know that what they are doing is injurious to their own persons and the society as a whole. So the government should, through the arms already in place, bring out, campaign that will sensitize people on the need to stay away from corrupt practice.
If you have your children at home, you need to tell them how to manage the money that you have.
That is to be content with what they have.
To be content with what they have. They should not spend more than what your parent has at home. Then you show them, you also tell them that anything that they know you're capable of doing for them, they should be contented with it. They should not go outside and be looking at their friends, somebody else outside, that mommy, come and buy this thing for me. I saw these also things in my friend's place, I want to have it. No, you have to teach your children what you can do for them. They should accept you. Anything you can afford to them, they should accept you like that.
The process of learning for a child is not magical. It is important that we instill a sound base of strong moral values in our children. Moral values are extremely important for everyone's overall well-being. It provides a structure for our lives. We should all work towards a better Nigeria by imbibing in good conduct and instilling discipline and good morals in our children. Honesty makes you respectable.
Imagine a society where everything works. Durable road networks, stable electricity supply, portable water, well-equipped and functional healthcare facilities, quality education for all, affordable housing schemes, social security benefits, job creation, and a lot more. that makes life comfortable to live. That is an ideal society. We can only achieve these if we all play our part. Say no to corruption to enjoy these benefits. Kill corruption to save Nigeria. This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
The Advance Fee Fraud and Other Fraud-Related Offences Act 2006 says, when any person who by any false pretense and with the intent to defraud obtains for himself or any other person by false pretense, that person has committed advance fee fraud. On today's edition of the program, we have a special report again, which seeks to take a look at the meanings of advance fee fraud. This genre of fraud, otherwise known as 419 in the Nigerian parlance, got its name from Section 419 of the Nigerian Constitution, which describes the crime. In this report, Rolake Odofinjolayemi will bring to you a blow-by-blow account of how the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, is waging war against the incidences of advance fee fraud. Over to you, Rolake.
The incidences of advance fee fraudsters, also known as 419 in Nigeria, before the advent of the EFCC, was such a sorry situation, as many Nigerians and even foreigners with genuine business proposals ended up falling victims of fraud, with some not only losing investments, but also their lives. The fraudsters employ different tactics to trick their victims. This type of fraud describes cases in which criminal fraudsters convince the victim to partake in a business which they mostly present as genuine, but which is not. There are several types of advance fee fraud. They include career opportunity scams, clairvoyant or psychic scams, check overpayment fraud, dating or romance scams, fraud recovery fraud, and identity theft. Others are inheritance fraud, loan scams, lottery, and sweepstake scams. Whatever form it takes, it usually begins with the fraudster presenting a profit or reward-gaining venture to the victim. The aim of every proposal from a fraudster is to strip the victim of his possessions either in monetary form or in property form. Clairvoyant or psychic scam is one form of advance fee fraud known as juju scam in the Nigerian parlance. The apparently psychic or clairvoyant fraudsters approach their victims by email, post, telephone call, or even face-to-face contact. When total strangers approach you with stories that they have seen something wonderful or terrible about your future, you may not need any other tale that you are being lined up to be fleeced. They may claim to be able to give you winning lottery numbers or offer to remove a curse or a spell. The tales deployed as baits for victims are many. Some claim to possess powers that can heal or provide remedy to certain ailments. They may also tell you that you are in some kind of trouble, but a solution is within reach. Some even go as far as telling you they can produce currency notes or that they have some marked notes somewhere and they need money to buy chemicals to wash it. A demo operation is carried out in which the mugu, as they call their victim, is taken through the motion of a paper being washed to become hard currency, often the US dollar. The process usually ends with the victim being told to help source for money to purchase the expensive chemical for a cut of the deal. This form of scam is common in Nigeria, with many victims losing lifetime investments to fraudsters. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, waged into the war against this genre of fraud in 2005 after the Commission unraveled a huge incidence of fraud in which a Brazilian bank was defrauded of over $200,000 by a fraud syndicate led by Emmanuel Umude. The Commission arrested the syndicate and recovered the money, which was restituted to the victim, the Brazilian bank. Not relenting in its efforts to rid the country of activities of fraudsters, operatives of the Commission have continued to arrest notorious fraudster syndicates who had defrauded a number of innocent victims of money and other valuables. Friday Ebelo is the head of the Advanced Fee Fraud Unit of the EFCC.
The conceptualization of the EFCC can be traced to the menace of the advanced fee fraud, and that is why one of the reasons why the EFCC was actually born, and we have achieved a lot of successes. There's still a lot of room for improvements, and we've come a long way. If we have to place our record from inception to date, we'll be talking over 5,000 convictions from the advance fee fraud alone.
How can one avoid being a victim of EFF?
So the circumspective one, you just have to ask yourself some basic questions. You don't need a rocket science to, you don't need to be taught in the classroom that these are the lessons, these are the way to avoid this, but you just have to ask yourself some basic questions. Why am I the person that this fellow is calling that, oh, this kind of investment is in town? Or there's an inheritance that I need to inherit from one person or the other. Why must it be me? What I always tell the victims that come around that we assist here, I tell them that if it's too good, then there's a red flag. If the interest, if the amount, if the returns on investment is too high, there's a red flag. You don't just, it's not something like you do an impulse kind of reaction or no. You need to ask yourself, when you see some of these phishing mail come to you or some of these unsolicited messages come to you, you don't just start giving your personal details. No. You just have to sit down and ask yourself some basic questions. Why am I the one this person sending this person to? And most of these informations are given by friends or close associates to the guys, that's the scammers. So they have a kind of a background, they have done a kind of background check on you. So they can give you, maybe if you have a nickname when you were growing up, they can call you by that nickname. That will take you off balance, say that, oh, this person might have some inkling about me.
What can be done if one becomes a victim?
You need to discuss with a professional. You need to, if you are in any of our cities where we have any of our office, you need to reach out to any EFCC officer. If they can't attend to you, they will bring it to us. And in coming to us, we will be able to ask you one or two questions and advise proper solutions on how to go about it. We can even still put you on how to relay with these scammers so as to see how we can effect their arrest.
Adejare Kembi is a legal practitioner. He speaks about the trend of advance fee fraud and the legal perspectives to spiritualism.
The law has made provisions. First and foremost, let me say that if we make a false presentation or representation, that is what we call obtaining under false pretenses. So it is an avenue, but it is criminal. However, the law makes provision under what we call money hard and received. It is applicable in contract cases. It is also applicable in criminal instances where you have made a promise to me upon which I have changed my position and money had passed. Where that promise is not kept, I have the right to sue you in civil causes to recover that money.
Some people say the law does not recognize voodoo or juju. Is it the same with you?
We are wrong in saying that the law does not recognize juju. The criminal code actually makes provisions for such a circumstance. So the law recognizes juju. It does. However, where the juju is used for criminal purposes, the law again makes provision either for the suspect to be tried. That is when we talk about going through ordeal. The law makes provision for trial by ordeal and so on, which is a format where even a man who believes in juju says, for instance, I have caught a witch, right, and puts the poor girl or boy through such a serious situation that the law does not expect. That juju man is liable for trial under the trial by ordeal provisions of the criminal code. So we actually have provisions that have adequately provided for such. And don't forget, that criminal code is over 100 years old. So if you realize that 100 years ago, we have made provisions for such, and it is still valid now, how can we say that we did not recognize juju or we did not make provisions for such a situation? We have.
How can evidence be established in cases involving spiritual fraud?
Simple. No man will lay emphasis on spiritualism as a means of deceit without having something to show for it. Either a shrine, a concocted place where something is said to go on. Those are the evidences that you need to prove to show that, look,
this man has shown me this as a basis upon which I parted with money, I parted with property. Right. However, even the Evidence Act had even made it a little bit simpler now by virtue of the recent amendment that was made. All you need is a picture or a recording of such and a certificate from the hand of the person who did the recording. So you are no longer required to carry the shrine to the court. Because, in fact, sometimes, you know, Nigerians, for what we are, even if the judge says the shrine, the judge might run.
Do you think Nigerians have tendencies to be spiritual individuals?
We do. We do. From the presidency to the laborer, all of us tend to be spiritual in one way or the other. And that spirituality marks our action, whether positively or negatively.
Section 2 of the Advanced Fee Fraud and Other Fraud-Related Offences Act 2006 gives power to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to arrest, investigate and prosecute advanced fee fraud offenders. The Act states that a person who with intent to defraud represents himself as possessing the power or as capable of doubling or otherwise increasing any sum of money through scientific or any other medium of invocation of any juju or other invisible entity, or of anything whatsoever, commits an offence and is liable on conviction to imprisonment for a term not more than 15 years and not less than 5 years without the option of a fine. Rolake Odofinjolaimi, reporting for The Eagle.
Corruption is dishonesty and illegal behavior by people in positions of trust. A public office is a public trust. Do not abuse positions of trust for private gains. Stay away from corruption. Nigeria is a great nation, and it is our responsibility to make the country greater. If you notice any act of corruption, please report to the EFCC via info@efccnigeria.org or call 09-904-4751 or 09-904-4752. You can also call 09-904-4753. This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
And that's how we have come to the end of today's episode of The Eagle. You too can be part of this program by sending your inquiries and suggestions to the Eagle at efccnigeria.org or search for us on Google Plus at Official EFCC or Official EFCCNG@gmail.com. You can like our page on facebook.com/Official EFCC or follow us on Twitter @Official EFCC. And of course, you can visit our page on Instagram @Official EFCC. To watch our programs and other activities, please log on to youtube.com/Official EFCC. My name is Aisha Mohammed. Always remember that a public office is a public trust, and do not abuse positions of trust for private gains. Goodbye and God bless Nigeria.
My name is Femi Anikula Kokuti. This is just to tell you, beg you, plead with you. Don't let anybody lure you into being violent. It's very important for us to have a peaceful elections. We need to think about the future of this country, of our children. We can be a great nation. And the first step is desist from being violent. Let's have a peaceful elections. Elections should not be a do-or-die affair. There's no basis for violence in an election.
If any politician asks them to go and do violence because they want to pay them, let them ask them, any politician, to go and bring his son or daughter to lead the violence.
I want to employ the young people in the forthcoming election not to fight. They should be orderly. At the same time, they must be vigilant.
support the campaign or vote and not by fight. Let us vote peacefully and shun any form of conflict.
People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world. For real-time notifications, just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search for PTV Nigeria. Download. It's free. It's easy. And now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
News 24 Extra is taking it up a notch. You can now have news curated to your interest anywhere in the world with real-time notifications. Just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store on iOS. Search News 24 Extra. Download. It's free. It's easy. Now you can catch up with the latest news in politics, entertainment, lifestyle, sports, and much more. So stay connected with News 24 Extra. News at your fingertips.
Yeah, I like truth and I they straightforward. My name is Innocent Dibia. They call me Two-Face before, but now they call me Two-Baba. Yeah, we're here in Osun State for the Vote Not Fight campaign. And we're here to just let the youth know that, let them not be used, let them, go out there, get their PVCs, and then, go and vote for the candidate of their choice, and do it peacefully and, so vote, not fight, election, not be war. All right, let's go there.